Over the last few years, I've played hundreds of games, but only a few have really caught my interest. One of these games is called Risk of Rain 2, and it's one of my favourite games of all time. Released during COVID, it quickly gained mass amounts of traction for not only being fun, but being boundless when it comes to what the player could do. Risk of Rain 2 now sits at around 4 million copies sold on PC alone, and has 2 DLCs and a loyal fanbase. So today I'll go over my experience playing the game, and talk about just how incredible this beautiful game is. Let's start at the base parts of the game, and go up from there. Risk of Rain is a 3D roguelike shooter where you drop into an unknown planet, activate a teleporter, kill a boss, rinse and repeat. But even though it sounds simple, this replayability loop has captured the hearts of millions, including myself, and proved to be close to perfect. Anyway, throughout your run you can find game-changing modifiers, new survivors, hidden areas and special items. All of this continues until you make it to the moon, where you fight the end boss and escape to finish your run. Sounds simple, right? Sadly, not at all. When you first start playing, you'll have absolutely no idea what is going on. You'll probably die first stage, make lots of mistakes and think the beetles are your friends, but that's just the beauty of any roguelike. You try and try again and get further each time. After too much effort and a small panic attack, you may have scratched up enough wealth to open a chest or two, where you get an item that you don't know anything about except maybe what it lets you do. Every item in the game is incredibly special and can decide if you win or lose a run. It's why most players will play with the artifact of command, because it lets you pick your items, allowing you to really unlock the door to Risk of Rain's potential. But I'm getting sidetracked. I'll talk about items later. Let's continue. After a few more panic attacks and about 100 near-death experiences, you'll get to the teleporter. Finally, your way out. What does this do? What the fuck? So yeah, that's the boss, and trust me when I say that they get much worse. Eventually you'll beat the boss and then hit the teleport to get to the next stage, but you'll soon be disappointed to see that you have to do everything all over again, but harder. Risk, I'm just going to call it this so I can shorten it, it's a game that makes the players rely on skill, knowledge and imagination to win. If you're really skilled at the game you could win, if you know a lot about the game you could win, but the most foolproof way to beat Risk is to use your imagination. This is where I get to rant about items now. Every player needs to mix all of Risk's items and their imagination into one to successfully beat the game whenever they want. Because of how many items there are, around 200 if you count the DLCs and equipments, you're literally only limited by what you can think up. What about a bomb build? Okay, here's some flammable liquid and an explosive canister, go have fun. Maybe like a crit build? Perfect, take 10 pairs of these dumb glasses and whatever this is with a few other things and oh my god, it's beautiful. Anyway, as I was saying, every item has balanced potential and can make some insane builds, so if you want to see me do a video on some of my favourite builds and Risk, then comment down below. Now, so let's paint the picture right. You think you know the first thing about items, so you're pretty confident. Oh, a toad. That's normal. Oh damn. Welcome to the Bazaar, the place where you can elevate your run to new heights or destroy it in seconds depending on what you know. Almost every lunar item that can be purchased from the Bazaar has a downside as well as an upside. Want lots of money? Well here you go, but every time you get hit you lose some. That's basically lunar items. But some replace one of your survivor's abilities with a new ability, and if you figure out which of the 4 items gives you all 4 of those abilities, then well, I'll let you figure that out yourself. What should I talk about next? Oh hello. Enemies, lots of them, everywhere all at once. Some can fire projectiles, some can shoot lasers, some can crush you and others can... In the end though, they're all killable. Now I know that sounds morbid, but hear me out. There's not a single enemy in the game that is so overpowered that an experienced player can't beat it. End of. So, your really fun fire build will work on virtually any enemy. Now that you know that, let's talk about elites. Elites are some of the strongest enemies before the bosses that can take on many different forms. They could be ice, fire, healing, which all allow the enemy to do some cool things when they attack or die, but most of them are just really annoying. Leave me alone! But it doesn't stop there. Certain enemies only appear in certain environments, basically meaning you can't find a humanoid fire dinosaur in a basic grassland. This means that as your run continues, you will find even more weird enemies and horrible debuffs as you progress. What's this? What are you? Go away. I want to go home. After playing for a while, you may discover some secrets in new areas like the Void or that one gold place where you guessed it, more enemies lurk. Hidden areas like these will almost always have some sort of fun modifier which changes the enemy's behaviour and the arsenal to make them more difficult to fight. This is a great example of why these lizard guys are stupid and why we love God. Every survivor in Risk is great, but of course we all have our favourites. Commando shoots a lot, Huntress rains arrows from the sky, Bandit is just cool, Multi is a goddamn death trap, Engineer doesn't do anything, he just leaves it to his turrets, Artificer is magic and energy stuff, Mercenary is a sick swordsman, Rex is, well, I don't really know what Rex is, Loader is... Whee! Acrid is pure poison, in a good way, Captain is... and there's a bunch more in the DLCs, so I'll leave those as a surprise. As you could probably already tell, each and every one of these survivors is completely different in basically every way. They all have their own strengths and weaknesses, with some being good at some things and others being good at other things. Basically what I'm trying to say is that there's a survivor for literally every type of player out there. Also, every survivor has alternative abilities that can be unlocked while playing through challenges. These abilities can be anything from a bigger slide all the way to... Some items can also affect these abilities by giving them extra charges, lower cooldowns, or simply more power. On top of this, every survivor has some sort of crazy backstory which perfectly ties into their character and themes. This creates some crazy theories and videos on different opinions on the overall lore, which are incredible to see. Anyway, Risk looks incredible. All the survivors, enemies, bosses and more have very unique yet beautiful designs, which makes them stand out. Even the lighting is on point, with shadows casting really smoothly on the ground and the weather and sun looking perfect. It's really a feast to the eyes when you play Risk, especially when you make a fun build and all the effects are flying around on your screen. And the survivors look crisp too, especially accurate. And don't even get me started on the moon design, gotta be one of my favourites in the whole game. The colours are perfect, the structures look natural, the enemies are, well, annoying, but they still look great. Everything down to the very last detail looks close to perfect in Risk, and it's one of its standout features to new and returning players. Next, artifacts can absolutely destroy or rebirth a run before it even starts. Just look at me trying to play with all of the artifacts turned on. Basically, artifacts can change a certain aspect of the game and make it absolutely mad. You could pick your items, get items from enemies, fight more enemies, they can be found and acquired by typing in specific codes into a massive portal, which sends you to... I don't know what this is. After playing through a few stages with the artifacts modifier on, you will unlock it and be able to use it in your next run. One down, only more than 20 to go. They act as one of the most crucial parts of Risk and add more possibilities to the game than you could ever imagine. You can literally do anything using these artifacts in your runs, and it makes the game 10 times more enjoyable. Risk's music is peak. Fight me if you disagree. Your opinion is invalid when it comes to something so obviously true. Every note, sound and second of each track contains such interesting emotion and a sense of epicness throughout. It's not like music you'd expect from a game, it's more than that. It's won multiple awards in 2020 going to its main theme and artist, and it's only been getting better from there. Trust me when I say this, okay? Imagine you're about to go skydiving. You're deadly scared of heights, but your friends wanted to go, so here you are. A second before you jump, you hear the start of Coalescence playing in your head. Bliss. No fear. No sense of death, just vibing in the wind. That is what Risk's music is all about. Kinda. There's even custom tracks for certain bosses and environments, which add an extra layer of ambience to the game as a whole. Even hardcore composers and musicians have listened to the soundtrack and been blown away by how diverse and incredible it sounds. The man who composed this incredible symphony is none other than Chris, I can't pronounce his last name. He was one of the coolest independent artists in gaming. His most notable pieces of music are of course in Risk of Rain, but he's done music for multiple other small games that sound incredible. Before we end, I'm going to play you some of his music so you can understand what Risk of Rain is all about. Also, a link to his profile and music will be in the description below, so check him out there. Thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoyed them, please like, comment and subscribe to help me improve my content and grow my channel. If you have any suggestions for games, tell me down below, and watch this video on screen now if you're interested in games similar to Risk. And once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.